Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm G&G, and in this video of Breaking Brazil we are going to do a review of the save, the story of Breaking Brazil, how we got on here in my first time managing a club in Brazil. It was Vasco da Gama that we chose for this save, and a reminder of what the challenge was. It was to win the Brazilian Serie A title with Vasco da Gama, their first title since 2000, and the rules of the save were that we could only sign Brazilian players and we had a 5-season limit on the save to complete the challenge. So let's get back to the first season in charge of Vasco da Gama and we look at the league table for that first season, and it was a learning experience for us. We finished in 8th position on 55 points. We suffered 13 defeats in that season, including a few hammerings there. 6-1 away defeat to Fluminense stands out there, but also defeats 5-2 away to Atletico Paranaense. Flamengo beat us, of course, 3-1. That was a rivalry that was starting up this season. And we finished in 8th position, which would have been only good enough to qualify normally for the Copa Sudamericana, the second tier of continental competition in South America. But Atletico Mineiro, who finished second in the league, went into administration this season, which meant they couldn't qualify for the Copa Libertadores, and it meant we took their place in the 7 qualifying spots. So that was a real boost in our first season. If we look at the fixtures from that season, as I said, it was a learning experience. I was only learning really what the Rio State Championship was. For example, we got to the semi-finals of that in the first season. We got to the final of it in the first season, but we were beaten by Flamengo, and that was the real start of that Rio rivalry that continued throughout the save. They also knocked us out of the cup in that first season. We lost them in the league. We lost to Atletico Mineiro 3-0 away from home. We had this run of form here where we had no wins in 6 games there, no wins in 6 in the middle of the season there. Really was struggling to learn the team. We were heavily reliant on players who were already here at the club, such as Dimitri Payet was here. We had a striker on loan called David. Victor Luiz was a player who was with us. But yeah, it wasn't great quality throughout the squad. We were really struggling for depth. We eventually brought in some youngsters like GB here, who scored in a game against Sao Paulo. We brought in a young winger called Rayan, who continued throughout the save with us, one of our own. And yeah, it was a season that just didn't go well for us. We didn't really build a great squad. We inherited a squad, we didn't bring in anyone. We had a kind of an unwritten rule not to bring anyone in the first transfer window. We didn't do it and we suffered. And as I said, we had that 6-1 away defeat to Fluminense with a real hammering. Again, we had lots of runs without wins. It was a real struggle that first season. Then we went into the transfer window for the first season here. We'll have a look at it. It was the season of 2025. I brought in a number of players, spent 4.9 million, which was our budget for that transfer. We brought in players like Breno Lopez, Pastor, Alejandro, Mateus in goals came in on a free. Malcolm came in, a big Brazilian name, came in on a free back from playing in Saudi Arabia, I think. Z Rafael was a midfielder we brought in mid-season but couldn't register, which is a bit embarrassing. We let a few players go to bring in some money. And yeah, that second season, if we go back to the league table and we look at the second season in charge, was a much better season. Finished 4th in the top 4 for the first time. Flamengo champions again. We finished on 58 points, which actually, if you look at the table from the season before, is only 3 points more in our second season, but it moved us well up the table. Still had a minus goal difference. We were still conceding a lot of goals, 64 goals conceded, including 8 against Flamengo in our 2 meetings with them. We suffered 14 defeats this season, some hammerings again. 5-0 at home to Bahia stands out, 4-0 away to Flamengo. I think it was 2 4-0 defeats to Flamengo that season. That was a real disappointing in that way. But yeah, up to 4th. If we look at the fixtures from that season, just see how we did in other competitions, because this was a really good season in the Copa Libertadores. It's the first time managing in the competition, and we managed to get to the final against Flamengo, and we beat them in injury time here. A 100-minute goal from GB, a 105th-minute goal from David Durante, our centre-back we'd brought in, and yeah, we won the Copa Libertadores. It was a first time managing it. We won it in the league. It was a bit disappointing. Like this run of form at the end of the season, you'll see here, 5-0 defeat to Bahia, 4-0 defeat to Kabia, 4-0 defeat to Flamengo. Won a game 4-0 and then drew at home to 2-2. Yeah, and then 2 defeats at the end of the season. So we were really struggling at the end of the season. We actually lost 3 games in a row at the end of the season here. We were starting to think about changing things up for sure. And yeah, it was another season of progress but not looking great at the same time, and we went into a transfer window in 2026 and we spent 30.5 million in this window. Oh no, sorry, it'll be 2025 window. So I've actually gone a season ahead. The season before we spent 4.4 million, then we spent the 4.9 million, and we brought in improvement for the 2025 season. And if we look at that season, we go back to the league table. I am looking for the league table here, and we go to the next season. After finishing 4th, we were up to 2nd. Yes, much improved this season, a lot more competitive. Mid-season, we changed our tactic from playing a 4-2-4 formation to a 4-3-3 really, with 3 flat midfielders. We improved our midfield, and we're much better this season. We were the closest rival to Flamengo in the season. We ended up finishing 9 points behind them. Only 8 defeats this season, but 2 defeats to Flamengo, 2-0 defeats. No real hammerings there, as you can see. We were much improved. One maybe to Bahia 4-1. We were much improved. Our goal difference was 19. We only conceded 45 in this season. When we changed the tactic, we were much better. And that was a big improvement for us. Look down at the bottom, Atletico Mineiro, the team that were put into administration to help us get into the Copa Libertadores, they get relegated this season, as do Bahia. That was a bit of a shock. But we were up in 2nd, and this was real something to build on. And we go to the schedule again for this season. You'll see how we did in the other competitions. And again, the Copa Libertadores was a real highlight of the season. Back into the final for a 2nd season running, where we took on Flamengo again, and we hammered them. And this was a real statement moment, I think. Beating them 4-0 in the final of the Copa Libertadores really showed we could compete with them the next season in the league. We were really good towards the end of that season. And if you look, I think there was a run of form here. I'm going to say it was this run of form here in June where I'd had enough, and we changed our tactic from here on in, and you can see the improvement in just wins all over the board. We had a few defeats here and there. We lost in the Copa. We actually won the Brazilian Cup this season, didn't we? Yeah, just working out here. We won the Brazilian Cup this season as well as the Copa Libertadores, so we did a double in that season. A brilliant performance. So 2 trophies in our 3rd season at Vasco, finishing 2nd in the league, back-to-back wins in the Copa Libertadores, hammering Flamengo in the final. That was real progress. And again, we went into the transfer window. This time we had more money to spend because of those two cup victories in the Copa Libertadores. Winning that twice really helped boost our finances. So we spent 30.5 million in this season. I bought in players like Joey came a centre back from Santos for 8.25 million. Dodi came into our midfield. Leo Borges was a left back we brought in to support Lucas Piton, who was here from the start. Gabriel Rion was a winger we brought in from Porto. We brought in Daniel Fazzato, who was a goalkeeper to improve us in goals. Emerson Royale came in on a free. Talisca came in during the season, and that was a huge moment too, because he turned out to be a fantastic striker for us. 53 appearances, 35 goals in on a free. He was brilliant for us when he came in. Probably the star of the save in many ways, because when he came in, he really changed our attacking element in the squad. And that really helped us out in that 2nd season. I think Talisca, if I'm right, came in mid-season in that season we finished in 2nd. I think he came in mid-season just as a tactical change as well, which meant we really pushed forward. And then we came to our last season of the save, and this was the crowning moment for us. A really good season. We were by far the best team in the league. Flamengo collapsed down to 8th position, but we took advantage of that. 8 defeats in this season, probably a bit disappointed with that, but 86 points on the board, finishing 11 ahead of Bragantino. 8 defeats, as I said, 28 wins out of 38 is pretty good. We only conceded 29 goals in the season, scored 76. So a really good season for us. And that was the season I think we'd really built up a squad. Again, was there another transfer window? I think there was, wasn't there? Yes, we had another transfer window before this final season. And Chao Alexander was a midfielder that came in. We spent 12 million on him. Ivan was a young centre-back we brought in from Bahia. He really helped us tighten up at the back. Boitello was a great midfielder we brought in. Newton was a player we brought in on low, didn't really make much difference. Rodrigo Munez was a striker we brought in mid-season on a free from Fulham. Gave us great support up front. Got a few goals, really good. Then mid-season we brought in 3 players to just boost our chances of winning the title. Arthur came in on loan for a fee of 1.3 million and huge wages, but he really made a difference. Claudinho was a midfielder we brought in for 14.5 million. Our biggest spend throughout the save, I think. No, Ivan, sorry, was 16 million was our biggest transfer, but Claudinho gave us midfield options and really boosted us. And Gabriel Busanello was a left back we brought in as a backup, and he made good impact on that season. If we look at the fixtures again, it was a really successful season in terms of trophies, because we go back to the start of this season. You'd see we won the Super Cup in Brazil against Flamengo. We won the Super Americana, which is the South American Super Cup. we won the Rio State Championship for the first time. The Copa Libertadores was a little bit of a disappointment. We were knocked out in the the second round? No, sorry, quarterfinals by Corinthians of Brazil. So we won it 2 years in a row, knocked out in the quarterfinals there. But we went on in a huge run of form, mid-season of wins that boosted our title chances, and we sealed that title with a 2-1 win at home to Palmeiras. Claudinho getting both goals in that game. And why don't we take a look at the moment when we became champions? Because we didn't actually get the moment in game of winning the title. We didn't see us lifting the trophy. The game for some reason didn't let us see it, but this was the game in which we sealed it. We went behind early on actually, and don't know why the highlights are playing that quick. Why don't we pause them a little? What happened there? We go down a bit. Now, Claudinho there scored one to make it 1-1. We were 1-0 down, and we were chasing a winner here to seal the title, and it came from Boitello. 2 signings linking up, Boitello to Claudinho. That finish, that win, sealed us as Brazilian champions and meant we completed the save 1 season early. We did it in 4 seasons out of the 5 season limit. And if we look at our positions in the league, it was an 8th place finish, a 4th place finish, a 2nd place finish, then we won the title. Fantastic performance really. And if we look at Vasco da Gama, the club, they now have won 3 Copa Libertadores since we came, 2 back-to-back ones for us. They've won 5 titles now in Brazil. They've won their first in 27 years of us winning it. They won a Brazilian Cup with us, their first since 2011. They won their first ever Sudamericana Super Cup, and they also won a Brazilian Super Cup, their first ever one too, and a 25th Rio State Championship, and their first since 2016. So yeah, a fantastic save. I really enjoyed my time here managing Brazil. The fixtures are a bit crazy, but once you get used to it, it's a lot of fun. Bringing in Brazilian players was tougher than I thought. There was a lot of players we could have brought in over the time who were Argentinian, Uruguayan, Paraguay, Ecuador. All these South American countries could have come in even on free transfers that would have improved us. But we had to wait. We got the right Brazilians in the end. Only one player in the squad, if we look at the squad here, only one player I think is not Brazilian in the squad. Lucas Piton is down as Italian, but if you look at his information, he is Brazilian. He's born in Brazil, qualifies for Brazil, down as declared for Italy, but no, I counted him as a Brazilian. So if you look at that, only one player is not Brazilian, and that is this man, Mateus Galarza, who was at who was in the squad when we came. He was out on loan our first season actually. We let him come back. He played a really important part. He's Paraguayan. He's the only non-Brazilian in the squad at the end. Players that were here at the start who stayed, Leo, the club captain, he was here at the start. He stayed. Lucas Piton was here at the start. That's 2. Rayan was a youngster we brought through. He was here at the start. I'm trying to see if there anyone else that was here. João Victor, backup defender, was here when we signed. So yeah, Paulinho, midfielder, he was here when we started off. And Jair is a midfielder who didn't really play much in the last few seasons. That's it really, yeah. So only a handful of players managed the last 4 seasons with us. So we built our own squad really. We built our own title winning squad, and it's been a lot of fun here at Vasco. So that is just a wrap up of the story here of Breaking Brazil. It's been a fun save. I hope anyone that's watched it has enjoyed it, and I hope you've enjoyed this wrap up as well. If you have, please hit that like button. Great to see people are enjoying them. Don't forget to leave any feedback you have in the comments, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to. It really helps the channel to grow, and I'll help you catch all future videos. There will be another save coming up before the end of Football Manager 2024. I haven't decided what that is yet. There'll be a little bit of break on Let's Play save videos for a little while I'm coming up with a save. There'll be some videos up on experiments, tactics, maybe managers moving, players moving, and then we will announce a new save very soon. Just to say, there will be one more video of this Breaking Brazil series. I'm going to do 10 years into the future to see what happened at Vasco when I retired and left. But for now, that is the story of Breaking Brazil, and until the next video, please take it easy.